Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Line Breakers, show number 20. We've hit the 20s. I'm Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets. We have another NFL special for you this week, week 14. We had an exciting week 13. I do just want to say this before we get the show started. I'm only going to bring this up once, and then we're not going to talk about it again. With the Bills, I bet with my heart. That's the only team out of the four major sports teams I bet with my heart. And they lost, and it sucks, and we're not talking about it the rest of the show. But or at least I'm not. I will be saying no comment if that is brought up. So, but yeah, other than that, it was a fantastic NFL slate, and we're looking forward to this week 14 for you guys. We have some picks for you. We'll do our upset special. We'll do our three best bets. Same show as normal. So yeah, we're certainly excited about that. But Benny Buckets, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Greg. I'm doing well, and just because you brought it up, I feel like I must acknowledge your statement there with the Bills game. Very disappointing loss, but I must say, well, Greg admits that he picks with his heart. I, of course, Benny Buckets here. We knew what side we were supposed to be on with the weather conditions, and we picked with our head. So we of course had New England plus 2.5. So plus 2.5. As a matter of fact, I believe if I remember correctly, which I believe I am, it's plus 2.5 plus money plus the 100. So plus the 100. So you got an outright winner there. As always, I didn't take him as my upset special, but that's okay because my upset special with the Washington football team, aka the Washington Riverboats, also had a winner. I won't call it a blowout winner because they did the last second field goal, but they had a winner. So, but it was an interesting week. I'm gonna review the results here first for us. Just a reminder before we get started, a couple things. So our picks are now posted every week on our Twitter page, which is at Line Breakers, name of our show, and the number 2. So at Line Breakers, LINEBREAKERS, the number 2 on Twitter. We post our NFL picks and we post our daily picks. Although I believe this week we did not post our results on Twitter. I think the Game Day Greg is the domain for the most part of the Twitter.
Oh, I think we did.
Did you post it? Maybe I missed it. I must have missed it.
Yeah, the results are up.
Oh, there are a lot of things I missed. So
okay.
The results are up. I thought Game Day may have want to overlook this week because Benny Buckets had a good week. Game Day, he's had a bad week.
No, Benny Buckets had a fantastic week.
It was somewhat mediocre for Game Day, but we'll review the results next. But of course, before we get there, we've got to go do our world famous and our infamous disclaimer, of course, folks. So please gamble responsibly. Any past performance is not indicative of future results. Please wager only with funds that you can afford to lose. And also, I guess another one that Game Day Greg likes to bring up with the disclaimers. Please shop around multiple sports books as you may find a better line at the third or fourth sports book you check rather than the first one. So please look around at the lines. Just because it's there's a line at one spot doesn't mean you can't find a better one somewhere else if you like a side. So those are the disclaimers this week, and we'll get right into the results here from last week. So for week 13 in the NFL, we'll start off Benny Buckets here, 10-4 last week, 10-4 overall. So
fantastic.
That's a good week. A legitimate week. That would impugn a pretty good record here. So 10 out of 14.
15. 10 out of 15.
14. It was 10-4 last.
Oh, 10-4. Yes, yes, you are correct. Yes.
71%. So a good week for me after a
pretty good
week. The week before, I believe, went 6-9 the week prior. So we definitely needed a comeback, and we did. And finally, for I think the first time perhaps all year, we finally got above 500 for the season here. 72-71-1. We're above 500 by the slimmest of margins. A one game lead on over 500 here, and a 50.3% winning percentage here for Benny Buckets. Our best bets, another good best bets, 2-1, 66% there, 66.7%. And finally for the year, we got over 500 on the best bets too. So a couple spots here. We got over 500 for the first time on the year, 51.15% on the best bets. And of course, our favorite pick of the week. We can't do it loud this week, folks. We're in different confines. We're in Buffalo, New York, doing this here podcast. So we have some restrictions with other people in the venue where I am, so we can't do the typical upset special enthusiasm. So we're gonna keep it down. But with our favorite
folks are missing out, but
it's very upsetting. It's very exciting. But to make up for this, next week we are going to have the loudest, the upset special of all upset specials, with the enthusiasm and with the volume. Game day,
Yes.
Greg probably going to have to get his ears, get some earplugs or something like that, even though he's about 1,800 miles away from where I will be reciting this loud upset special. So it will be loud, it will be epic, but this week we're going to keep it low out of respect. So some people are working here, so we have to make sure we don't interrupt with the sleep. So anyway, the upset special we won last week with Washington, as we talked about already. They were plus 2.5. They won outright. They won, I believe, by a point or 2 points. They barely beat the Raiders, but they did win on a long field goal. By Brian Johnson, signed off the Chicago Bears practice squad.
Yeah, 48-yard field goal.
48-yard field goal with 30 some odd seconds left. A native of the DMV area, grew up a Washington Redskin fan when they were still called that, but now they're called the football team, as we know. And I think that they should be called the Washington Riverboats, given the coach, and I think it just makes sense.
That's right. We came up with that name last week, and we're going to stick to it.
Absolutely, they're right on the Potomac there, so I think it makes a lot of sense. So anyway, so we were 1-0 last week on our upset special with Washington, 2-3 overall. So 2-3 overall. That's 40% on the upset specials. Game day, Greg, 6-8 on the week, so 6-8, not a bad week, a little bit down, but respectable, reputable there. 43%, 42.8% on the 6-8. It's relatively small sample size, but still has a 5-game lead here over Benny Buckets for the total amount here of wins in our league, or in our season standings here. He is at 77, 66 and 1, or 53.8%. We'll round up to 54% for him on that. On his best bets, he went 2-1. He is
1-2.
Oh, sorry, 1-2. Excuse me, that's right. 1-2. He has ceded the lead in the best bets to Benny Buckets here. He is now 16 and 17, so 1 game lead for Benny Buckets in the best bets. And with the upset special, of course, another good upset special pick here last week. I forget who we took. We got to take a look here for our notes. The LA Chargers over the Cincinnati Bengals on the upset special. Got a little nerve-wracking there with a 24-0 lead, and the Bengals came right back with 22 unanswered. But fear not, the Chargers pulled it out after a Joe Mixon fumble in plus territory there that ended up being returned for a touchdown, and that was all she wrote for Cincinnati. So an absolute blowout winner there. I believe it was 41 or 44-22. So a win there nonetheless for game day, Greg, on the upset special. So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna.
That's 4-1. 4-1 on the air.
4-1, 80%. 80%. 4-1. Yes, we do. 4-1. Absolutely. So definitely want to highlight that. Very, very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're going to start off this week. By the way, because you guys have always asked, with the white screen, we live with the right white screen here. So I don't know if it's white or not. Yep, we actually see.
Yep. Oh, there we go. We can read that. Yep.
It's readable. It's legible here, folks.
Perfect.
It's the Caesars. It's the great Caesar. Caesar himself created this. You can see the name right there, Caesars. So
Caesars, yes, Caesar Sportsbook.
We're all Caesars. So Caesars created this one. The Caesar Sportsbook app is what we're using this week. And bear in mind, we're recording on Wednesday night, so these lines they may and probably will move here throughout the week. So just bear that in mind. So the first game, Thursday night game, not a great Thursday night game, not a terrible one. It's pretty average, but the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a big win, probably a season-saving win against the Baltimore Ravens, going into Minnesota, who were coming off a difficult defeat at the hands of the completely defeated Detroit Lions, who got their first win last week on the last-second touchdown by Jared Goff to the great Amon St. Brown. If that's not the Amon Ross St. Brown. If that's not the greatest name in the history of football, maybe Equanimous St. Brown is better. But Amon Ross.
I wonder if they're cousins. Yes,
they're brothers, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
They are brothers. The Amon Ra and the Equanimous are brothers. It's the Amon Ross.
Wonderful naming skills by their parents.
That's very, very eclectic. Very eclectic.
Did not look at that up in the baby book. That's not a baby book.
I can guarantee you, Equanimous and Amon Ra are not going to be in the top 10 baby names for next year. So
absolutely not.
They will not be. If Game Day Greg has children as his son, I wonder if he'll be naming his son Amon Ra. I think that would be an excellent name. Folks, comment below if Game Day Greg has a son. Can we please get some names for him? I think Amon Ra should be in the top 3. Amon Ra.
Okay.
Amon
It'll
Ra.
definitely be in the consideration.
I'm on Ra. So he's not like he is Ra. I am on Ra. it's like he's a wrestler on Monday Night Raw. It's pretty good actually. I like the
Yes, that's what. Yes, future
that's what
kid to aspire to be a
I'm
WWE wrestler.
I'm on Raw exactly. So anyway,
I'm on.
as
Okay.
we
Yes.
get on
With the
tangents,
tangents. With the
with a
tangents.
tangent, which we do very well here on Line Breakers, if you've been following us for the last number of weeks since the beginning of the season, we do many with the tangents and with the confusion. But anyway, getting back on track here, Pittsburgh is a +3 underdog, +100 at Minnesota, -3, -120. Money line on this game, +145 for the Steelers, -170 for Minnesota. Total points in this game, 43.5, both to the over and the under, -110.
Yeah, I am going to go with the over in this one here. The Minnesota Vikings defense has been terrible. They gave up 29 points to the Detroit Lions. 4 out of their past 4 games, this over is hit for the Vikings. The Steelers don't put up a lot of points, but I feel like this is a spot where the Vikings can still put up some points against the Steelers. Their defense hasn't been as great as it's used to. The last 4 weeks, just to give you guys a little sample size, 27, 26, 34, and 27 have been the Vikings total. So if you go by that, you average it out, they'll be close to 30. And I think the Steelers can put up 2 touchdowns. So by that math, that would be 45. So that is why I am going with the over in this game. I don't feel very comfortable with either side. I think you can go either way. The Steelers have been very up and down this year, to say the least. So I don't like picking sides when teams are up and down that often. So yeah, give me the over 43.5.
Yeah, this is a tough game. I actually, before you started talking there, I was going to go with the under, but Minnesota typically plays.
Then go with the under. We
No,
like going.
no,
We like going against each other.
No, I'm gonna second guess to myself. Are they going to go to the side here? I think I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here, folks. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. A couple of reasons why. I think that was a big win for them on Sunday evening / afternoon there against Baltimore, and I think that they know in this log jammed AFC with many teams at 7-5 and 6-6, and in the Steelers' case 6-5-1. They really can't afford to lose at this point. It does not look like, despite the win over Baltimore, that they're going to be able to win the division. Although, granted, they haven't played in Baltimore yet, if I'm not mistaken, so they could potentially take that game and get into more contention here as we go further down along the season. But I think this is a game. If you look at Pittsburgh's upcoming schedule, folks, they've got at Baltimore still. They've got Cleveland, I believe they've got to play as well. They've got and they've got Kansas City on the road. So to me, this is almost a must-win game for them. And Minnesota, after losing to Detroit, I just think that's going to break them. I think they see the writing on the wall and that they are not going to be in contention this year for the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh +3 points.
Okay.
Not confident about it, though, folks. Not confident. All right, next up here, we've got the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is a 2.5-point underdog at Cleveland, -2.5. Baltimore +120 on the money line, Cleveland -140. Total points in this game, 42.5, -110 is the over and the under.
Ravens are 2.5-point underdogs.
They are a 2.5-point underdog at Cleveland, yes.
Ooh, wow. Unless there's something that's not clicking with me, I think this is the Ravens almost no-brainer for me. I just look at the quarterbacks here. Lamar Jackson is a far superior quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Honestly, if the Browns had to do a do-over, would you take Baker Mayfield or would you take Lamar Jackson? I would take Lamar Jackson. I think those picks could be switched at this point in terms of the power rankings of the quarterbacks of the 2018 draft. So I definitely I think the Browns are kicking themselves there. But yeah, I think the Ravens +2.5 is the play here, or the over. But yeah, I mean, the Ravens lost a disappointing loss against the Steelers, but I don't know. They just played 2 weeks ago and they won by 6. So this doesn't make too much sense to me. So I'm going to go with the Ravens +2.5.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to go with the under on this game. The under on this game, the under hit last time. We've got 2 very good defenses. Baltimore is typically a good offense, but it's been stagnant here of late. Haven't been able to score more than 20 points in the game, I believe, the last 3 or 4 weeks. And Cleveland's offense is just not big, especially Baker Mayfield, not very good. And I think that they'll Ravens will be able to do what they did 2 weeks ago to Baltimore and shut down, or to Cleveland and shut down the running game again. And I think they'll probably get a lot of running in this game, which means not a lot of passing, which means that the time will go off the clock more quickly, and you'll probably get less plays from scrimmage. So with that all being said, it's all is a recipe for an under here. Not a lot of points. So I'm going to go under the 42.5.
Under, okay. And then two other notes to point out at this game too. Just looking a little deeper into the analytics and the stats and the top secret information that we can't share with you guys. Benny Buckets went frozen. He is frozen.
We are with the confusion here with technology here.
Technical difficulties,
satellite office here. Oh, we're back.
We're kind of back. Yes, we're getting
there. We're getting back.
Yeah, so it's a little longer to recalibrate over there in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
being they're
the
currently
technological advancements in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, currently with the igloo, it could be freezing temperatures. But as I was saying before, a couple of things to note with this game too. Diving deep into the analytics, has there ever been a team that played a team before the bye and then played that same team after the bye?
I'm sure it's happening.
Because the Browns are currently doing that with the Ravens. They played them before the bye, had the bye, and then
yes, I believe
that is interesting. That is interesting. And then this is another time to plug this. We'll plug this twice in one show. If you like a line early, get it. And if you like a line, use multiple sports books to look for that best line, because I have a feeling with this game that we could see the Ravens being favorites by the time kickoff starts. And they're currently 2.5-point underdogs. So that's quite the swing, folks. It may not sound like it, 2-3 points here or there, but it makes all the difference in the world. Trust us. In these games, we've watched enough games come down to the point or half point. So yeah, definitely, if you like it, get it in quick. But yeah, those are my two little side nuggets on this game.
Good stuff. I like it. Very good. Next game up, this is probably, as Greg would term, a who cares game. Greg loves the who cares games, and at least one game we go who cares game.
I think there's a couple this slate. I think there's a couple on this week 14 slate.
It would appear that way. The next two games, as a matter of fact, are probably who cares games. But this one is the Jacksonville Jaguars +8.5, -110 at Tennessee, who's -8.5, -110. Money line on this game, Jacksonville +350, Tennessee -450. On the money line, total points 43.5, both to the over and the under, -110.
Yeah, this is like Ben said, this is a patented game day Greg who cares game. I feel like NFL Red Zone will not be cutting to this game a lot. It's funny watching Red Zone. Every game where you think it's not going to cut, it usually cuts to it. Andrew Siciliano just says, look at this play, and it's usually a turnover. That's pretty much what happened in the Jacksonville game. All the bad games, there's just turnovers on turnovers. So it's pretty funny to watch. But I'm going to ride with the Titans -8.5 here. I think this is a but yeah, no, I love the Titans in this spot, -8.5.
You like the Titans? So just repeat some of that game day. I think we had a little bit with the internet with
okay. So let me do a little. Let me try to read your brain, see what you missed. I'll just repeat it again. So the Titans, I love the Titans -8.5 here. This is a get right game for them. As you saw last week with the Rams, this is a get right game for them. They blew them out by 30. The Jaguars have absolutely nothing going for them. They have to go on the road to Tennessee to play a Mike Vrabel led team, who I think is a top 3 head coach in this league. Very underrated head coach. So for all those reasons, give me the Titans -8.5.
Okay, I'm going to go with yet again, there's a theme here this week, folks. You go with another under here. Another under. Jacksonville can't score very much. Tennessee without Derrick Henry is not the same offense. So I'm going to take the under here. I'm not going to go too much in this game because this is a who cares game. I'm going to go under here, under the 43.5, under the total here. Don't see a whole lot of points being scored. Maybe Tennessee gets to 30, possibly, but I don't see Jacksonville getting to 14. So give me the under here, under 43.5.
I like it.
Next game up here, another who cares game. actually we got three in a row here with here. There's three in a row that are going to be who cares teams. It's like Seattle Seahawks with the Houston Texans. Seattle minus 7.5, minus 110. Houston plus 7.5, minus 110. Money line is Seattle minus 350. Houston plus 280. Total points 41.5, minus 110 to both the over and the under.
Woof. Yeah, this is definitely a who cares game.
Do we know who the quarterback will be after Tyrod Taylor was benched last week? Will it be the Mills Mafia back in? Does anyone know?
We don't know who the quarterback is going to be. I am going to take the under here, the 41.5. These two offenses are terrible right now. I know Seahawks could be good, but yeah, no, even if the Seahawks do get in the 30s, I do not see the Texans getting past 10. I mean, Jamal Adams, he is out for the year with a torn labrum. Currently my injury on my shoulder, but we fight through it. Jamal Adams decides to get surgery. It's okay. Who's a tougher guy, but yeah, no, I like the under here. Russell Wilson is just not right. I mean, good for him for coming back in record time, rehabbing 19 hours a day, which is a bunch of malarkey. He must account sleep in that. But yeah, no, I love the under, minus 41.5.
Yes, the Russell Wilson rehab schedule is a bunch of Mike Malarkey, folks. And
Yes,
if you're
Mike
a Bills
Malarkey.
fan, you know who Mike Malarkey is. So, or a Titans fan for that matter. He's the head coach there for a minute too. I agree. I'm going to go with the under here, under 41.5. Just don't see a whole lot of points here, especially with Houston. I don't think either team's going to get to 30. And yeah, so give me the under as well.
Yep, that's the play.
I'm not going to elaborate too much on that game. The third and final edition of this round of Who Cares games. And there's more coming up here, folks. Trust us. The Atlanta, so for your viewing pleasure, the Atlanta Falcons plus 2.5 going in to take on the Carolina Panthers, or minus 2.5. Both are minus 110 to the 2.5. Atlanta plus 2.5, Carolina minus 1.5. Money line Atlanta plus 115, Carolina minus 135. And the total points in this game, Atlanta over 40. Atlanta. Total points in this game 42.5, minus 110, both to the over and the under in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to use my defer here. You get one defer per show, and I am using it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, if I had to just pick something.
Well, you're using a defer, so you don't have to pick it yet. Are you using your defer?
Right, for true. Yes, that's how defers work. Yes, it's late
over
here.
Analyzation of the defer here.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
we forgot the definition of a defer.
We forgot the definition of defer. So yes,
I
go ahead.
Second half, which means you don't get the ball in the first half. You get it in the second half. So.
Do I get to pitch? Do I get to pick which way I kick in the second half?
You do, and I think we're back with the.
We're frozen again. This is.
Technology. 1 second. We'll get it back. It's one of those shows.
I think I'm going to label this YouTube with the technical difficulties.
Oh, we're back. We're back. Well, we're sort of. Yeah, we're back. We're back. It's we gotta work through it a little bit. You know?
We're not back. We're not back.
We're not back.
No.
We're back for a second. No, we're not back.
Folks, let us comment down below which one of Ben's poses you like the best with the frozen frozen screenshots here. I'm sure you've got 5 or 6 of them already saved in your camera roll. So comment down below which one you like best.
Yeah. This is my network.
Pre-production folks. Yeah. Pre-production meeting went about a half hour. It was absolutely perfect. No glitches in the system whatsoever. And then once the show starts, we decide to have the technical difficulties. So it's okay. It happens to the best of shows, even Linebreaker Sports. So we'll just have to fight through it.
We'll fight through it. The network bandwidth is low, but apparently it's still going here. It's still humming. Up, then back. Maybe it's back. But, okay. Maybe we're back. I don't know if we're back. We're going to try and power through, though.
Power through, yes.
Because we're recording and we're with the yellow bars here, But anyway, which I think means it's going, but it's not going great. But anyway, yeah. So on my pick here for this game, Atlanta, Carolina. Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a good defer. Here.
Yes.
I'm gonna go.
Yep,
Oh, man.
that's exactly how I feel.
This is tough. By far, folks, this is by far the toughest game of the week, in my opinion. By far the toughest line of the week, the toughest game of the week. These teams just don't know who's going to show up or what's going to show up. Oh boy,
Who's even
I'm,
playing quarterback for Carolina?
it's still Cam Newton, I think. Um, I'm just going to go because Atlanta came off such a bad loss. I know Carolina came off a bye, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I believe. I don't think they played last week.
Yes, they did. They did.
Yeah. I just think Atlanta coming off a bad loss is going to show up. I really think the play here, I mean, we always pick the spread, so we'll give you the spread. But the play here, folks, if you believe in Atlanta plus 2.5, minus 110, it's worth going from minus 110 to going to get plus money, plus 115 by taking them outright. Because the chances of them losing by 2 or 1 is very unlikely here, folks. And you're giving up 25% here in juice for 1 or 2 point loss as opposed to a win. And that just seems very unlikely. So to me, the play here, if you're going to pick this game, is going to go plus 115 and land on the money line. We don't pick money lines here, though, on Line Breaker Sports for our picks. So for our purposes, we'll go with Atlanta plus 2.5. But if I were to play this game, I'm going to take the money line and lay.
Could that be a little foreshadowing into the upset special?
I don't know. I haven't actually thought about that or decided yet. It's not the upset special planned out this week. Sometimes I do ahead of time. This week I did not. So
you're gonna go Falcons plus 2.5 here?
It is the second underdog I'm taking though for our picks here. So yes, I'm gonna go Falcons plus 2.5.
Falcons plus 2.5. Okay. Good pick. I think with the way these two defenses play, oh man. I wish I could defer again, folks. That's how much I don't care about this game. I had all this time to think of a side too. I think of a pick. I think I agree with Benny Buckets here. I think I'm going to go Falcons plus 2.5. I mean, is what it is, right? They, I can't even defend them. That's how much this game is. Man.
Why don't we just move on that now?
Yeah, all right. I'll go Falcons plus 2.5. No explanation.
No explanation. That's fine. Let's just move on, given all the uncertainty around this pick. So next up, we got Dallas Cowboys, the Washington football team. Dallas -4, -110. The Washington football team, or the Washington Riverboats, as we have affectionately dubbed them here online on LBS, Line Breaker Sports. Washington +4, -110. Money line is Dallas -200, Washington +170. Total points in the game is 48, both to the over and the under -110.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dallas -4 here. I understand why everyone is very high on the Washington Riverboats. Taylor Heineke has been playing fantastic, and that defense has certainly lived up to some of the expectations. But yeah, I mean, they're riding a high. The way I look at this, they're riding such a high that they're going to drop off at some point. And I think this is the week. And I know I said that last week with the Raiders. The Washington football team did just edge out that win. That was Benny Bucket's upset special. But I think the Cowboys kind of found something last week against the Saints. And I think with a healthy Cowboys offense, for the most part, I'll take the better team. I'll take the better quarterback, the better weapons. Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys -4 here.
Okay. I am going to go a little bit different. I'm not going to take the side. I'm going to go with the under the 48.
This is a week of unders.
A week of unders for Benny Bucket too. Yes, under 48. Reason I'm going with the under here. Both games, both Dallas and Washington last week, games went on the under. Washington's defense has been playing much better the last 4 or 5 weeks, especially at home. Dallas's offense is very good, but they have not played well at all the last 4 or 5 weeks. Don't really trust them, especially on the road. Even though they beat New Orleans, I mean, New Orleans has really proven to be one of the, without Jameis Winston and without Alvin Kamara in the lineup the last 3 or 4 weeks, and without Jameis Winston for the better part of the last 6 weeks. They have proven to be a very suspect team. So I don't think that one was really all that impressive, frankly. So and they needed a late touchdown, by the way, to get that cover against New Orleans. So I do like the under on this game, and Dallas does have a pretty good defense as well. So I like the under 48 points here. So that's what I'll go with on this particular side. Now the next game it's a who cares game for Greg, but it's not a who cares game for me because the hometown,
Yes, take it away.
The New Orleans Saints at the New York Jets here. The New Orleans Saints are going into MetLife minus 5-point favorites or 5-point favorites -5, -110. The New York Jets +5, -110. The money line, New Orleans -230, Jets +190. Total points in this game 43 to both the over and the under -110. I'm just trying to think for a second what I like here. I am going to go with the Jets +5. Jets +5. New Orleans hasn't played well.
+5, I like it.
They haven't played well really since Winston's gone out. I don't know if they're starting Simeon or they're going to start Hill, who apparently has some sort of finger injury, I believe, and that was partially the reason why he threw 4 interceptions. So they say against Dallas last week. I don't think it matters whether they start Simeon or Hill. I think the Jets. I think Zach Wilson looked much better last week, but for the fact that
much better, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns, so much better. He's living up to the billing here, folks. He's clearly the second best quarterback in the class of 2021. I mean, that's without question, obviously. So and he'll get there. He'll beat the Mac. He'll beat the Mac at some point. I mean, after all, how good can Mac Jones be if Bill Belichick had confidence enough, so much confidence to only throw the ball 3? That's 3, a whopping 3 times in a football game, folks. Yeah. Don't tell me about how great Mac Jones is.
This is Ben's hand here. 3
times here, folks. How many? 3 times. Don't tell me about Mac Jones for Rookie of the Year if the coaches didn't believe he can throw the ball more than 3 times. 19 yards.
No comment.
All right, that's all I gotta say. 19 yards.
No comment.
I know, no comment. That's all I gotta say about that. So don't give me your Mac Jones nonsense, okay? I can guarantee you this: if Zach Wilson was the quarterback of the Patriots, he would have thrown the ball more than 3 times on Monday night. All right, I can guarantee you that. So without a doubt. So give me the Jets and Zach Wilson +5 at home against the Lions.
I actually agree with you here. That was going to be my pick before you said it. I like the Jets in this spot. I don't trust the Saints at all. Do we know if Kamara is playing?
I can look it up. I don't know if he is or he isn't.
I know Mark Ingram's out. I think if Kamara plays, this is going to be a lot closer of a decision. But I like the Jets in this one.
He returned to practice, so he may play. Yeah.
Oh, he did return to practice. Okay.
I still don't care. I still don't care.
I do. Nah, you're right. I don't care. Jets +5. We're gonna ride with it. I think Zach Wilson did get a little bit better. I think the players like playing for Robert Saleh. They fight for him. This is a home game. I don't see the Saints playing very well with Trevor Simeon. I could see the Jets going 4-9 here. So yeah, give me Jets +5.
Okay, Jets +5. Very good. Next game. This is a very interesting game. It's a game that last year the Kansas City Chiefs were not able to pull off the win against the Las Vegas Raiders at home. So the Raiders go into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Raiders are 9.5-point underdogs, -110, +9.5. Chiefs 9.5-point favorites, -9.5, -110. Money line on this game, Raiders +340, Chiefs -440. Total points 48 to both the over and the under, -110. Go ahead, sir, if you'd like.
Yeah, this is a much different Chiefs team than when they last played them. Even though the Chiefs did blow them out 3-4 weeks ago, whatever that was. I'm going to take the Chiefs at -9.5 here. I think that's the play. You can't trust the Raiders to cover here. The Chiefs have been dominant over the past couple of weeks. They've actually covered that spread 3 out of the past 3 weeks. If you're looking at it from a historical standpoint, Patrick Mahomes has been awesome. I mean, Tyreek, I think they figured out how to beat the too high safety look that they've been seeing a lot. Just throw it to Tyreek Hill over the flat or Travis Kelce over the flat and let them run. Tyreek Hill is the fastest human alive, I feel. He can make any negative looking play into a positive somehow. He jumps, like he does these little like jump cuts where he jumps like 2-3 yards back and somehow he gets 5 or 6 yards by doing that. But yeah, no, I just think the Chiefs are much better defensively over the past couple of weeks. I mean, you look at how much they've given up over the past 4 weeks: 9-9, 14-7. And it's not against slouches either. I mean, Green Bay, the Raiders, Cowboys, and the Broncos. So yeah, I like the Chiefs -9.5 here.
The Chiefs -9.5. Excellent. I agree. I like the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs have been averaging giving up 13 points a game the last 4 weeks. They also lead the league in the last 5 weeks, I believe, in forced turnovers. So the defense is the difference here between the Chiefs. Well, the offense has stepped up too, but the real difference here between the Chiefs early in the year, the first, say, 5-6 weeks of the year, and say the last 5 or 6 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, 7 or 8, is the defense, folks. Defense has really come on strong. Vegas, very inconsistent. They do typically play better on the road. They are awful at home as a home favorite. Really, really bad as a home favorite. They do tend to actually play better on the road than at home for whatever reason. That does not bode well when you spend $1.9 billion on a stadium and you can't win there. That's not a good recipe for success typically. But I just think the Chiefs are going to win this game probably by 2 touchdowns, if not more. This is a very similar game to me as the last week against the same spread that we were picking last week. Chiefs are at home -9.5 against the Broncos. I think the Raiders are about the same as the Broncos, and I expect about a same result. So give me the Chiefs -9.5. Might even want to consider teasing this up to 13.5. That way you can get some plus money on the spread, and if you think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns more, which I personally do. But certainly I like the Chiefs -9.5 here. So that's with the interesting there. So next up here we have another interesting game. The New York Giants, the Jake Fromm, the former Bills draft pick. Jake Fromm, who was taken off the practice squad because Daniel Jones is hurt. He did not have a third straight quarterback, so they had to put the man with a lot of neck, the quarterback with much neck, the great Glenn On. And they got him because they needed a quarterback with a lot of neck. So says Frank Caliendo. Unfortunately, Glenn On also sustained a concussion. Daniel Jones has already been ruled out for this game with the neck strain, and Glenn On looks like he'll miss this game. So it looks like it's going to be the Jake Fromm. What an ascent from Jake Fromm, the practice squad of the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago, to starting quarterback for the New York Giants. Pretty unbelievable, folks. That's life in the NFL.
Dreams do come true, folks. Yes.
Dreams do come true. And by the way, because Jake Fromm admires him so much, he is now wearing Josh Allen, number 17. Number 17 for the New York Giants, because he respects Josh Allen so much. There was an article in the Buffalo News about that recently for you Western New Yorkers. It's a good read. But anyway, the New York Giants +10, -110. The Jake Fromm led New York Giants against the Chargers -10, -110. Money line is Giants +360, Chargers -475. Total in this game was 43 points, -110 to both the over and the under. From my your game day, I'll take this one first here.
Sure. I think we're on the same side here.
We probably are. I'm going to go with the Chargers here, folks. The Chargers.
Yep. Once you said Jake Fromm led Giants, I figured we're on the same side.
Yes. Give me the Chargers. An impressive win last week over Cincinnati, and the Giants, folks. It's another disappointing year for the Giants, and a line in a decade of after the Giants Super Bowl against the Patriots, the second one in Indianapolis, second Super Bowl win. It's been basically a decade of futility ever since, and that continues now. I hope not. I hope Jake Fromm does well, but I don't think that's probably in the cards. So give me the Chargers -10.
Yeah, I agree with Buckets over there. Give me the Chargers -10 for all the same reasons Benny said there. And I mean, Saquon Barkley is even questionable. Could you imagine no Saquon Barkley with a Jake Fromm
No
led
Saquon Bar. What can I imagine? No Saquon Barkley. When does he play? He
with a Jake Fromm led? So who was in the backfield for the New York Giants? New
Devontae
Jersey
Booker would
Giants.
get the started if Saquon
Yes,
cannot
Devontae
play.
Booker would get the start. That would help with the fantasy team, but that's beside the point. Yeah, let's move on. Chargers minus 10 is play.
Okay. Moving on. Another who cares game, I believe, in the game day household. Detroit Lions at the Denver Broncos. The battle of the cities to begin with letter D. It's the battle of the D, here, folks. Detroit against Denver. Detroit plus 8.5 minus 110. Denver minus 8.5 minus 110. Money line in this game is Detroit plus 310. Denver minus 400. Total points in this game is 42 minus 110 to the over and the under.
Yeah, I have actually a pretty strong play on this. I'm going to go with the Lions plus 8.5 here against the Broncos.
Lions
Yes,
play. Interesting.
Lions play here. I love what I saw last week out of this Dan Campbell led team.
Sure.
It's just amazing. I mean, I watched the post game chat or post game speech with Dan Campbell there in the locker room and on the podium, and I'm just very impressed. I don't think I've had a scenario where I thought less of a guy before the year and then completely different about a guy in the middle of the year. This team fights for him. They certainly respect the man. I think he really is a player's coach, and I think they could be turning a corner. I mean, I do like what I see in their offense. They've got some pieces, some young pieces.
Amon-Ra.
Yes,
Amon-Ra.
yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown being one of their top weapons with TJ Hawkinson. And Jamal Williams, I believe, is their running back. And Jared Goff.
Swift, but DeAndre Swift is with the injury.
Yes, with the injured. And Jared Goff led team. I don't know if you guys saw the reaction video with Christian Harper, his girlfriend, but that was certainly wholesome to see. Go check that out if you haven't, folks. And no, I like the Lions plus 8.5 here. Let's go Lions. You know, they got their first win. I'm super pumped for them. Let's go.
Okay. It's interesting. I thought the easy pick here was the Broncos minus 8.5, but Greg goes the opposite way. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to the side here. I'm not going to go to the side.
Oh, you just said the easy pick was the Broncos, though.
I think that's what most people would think. That's probably where the public money will be on this game. If people put money on this game, which probably not too many people will, but
we'll see what the line shows by the end of the week. If I had to guess, I think we should have a segment. What will the actual line be? But we'll workshop that.
This will move up. This will be closer to 10 by the end.
I think it'll be closer to 7 by the time it's all said and done.
But we'll see. But I'm going to go with the total here. I'm going the under. Give me the under 42 here, folks.
Shocker of the week. Under.
Yeah, another under here. Yeah, another under. Listen, Denver's got a decent defense. Detroit's defense is surprisingly pretty good for a team that's won 10-1. I believe they won 10-1. Is that correct? They won 10-1. So, frankly, I just don't see a whole lot of points. Neither one of these offenses is really very prolific. And you never know the Denver factor. I haven't seen the weather forecast yet, but you always have December Sundays in Denver. You always have a potential weather scenario there with the Rocky Mountain High. With the Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, as John Denver would say. That was one of his famous song lyrics there for you fans of the 90s and late 80s, early 90s pop culture, pop music. With the John Denver, who is from Denver, ironically. So I don't know if his last name actually is Denver or he's from Denver, so he went by John Denver, or who knows? But we digress. It's with another story, another tangent here, of course, with the John Denver reference. So anyway, I'm going to go with the under here. Just don't see a whole lot of points, so I'm going to go the under on the Detroit Denver game, under 42 points. All right, next game up here, and this is a game I'm sure game day he's got some thoughts on after with the interesting game on Monday night. The Buffalo Bills coming off a tough loss at home. That give Benny Buckets the credit. He predicted it. Give Benny Buckets the credit on that one. The Buffalo Bills plus 3.5, minus 115. Going into Tampa Bay, minus 3.5, minus 105. Money line on this game is Buffalo plus 145, Tampa Bay, minus 170. Total points 53.5 or 53.5, minus 110. Under, minus 110. Over. Game day, take it away, sir. Oh, one
no
quick note. Sorry, before you take it away. This line opened up at 3, folks, so it's already been bet, and the money's coming on Tampa. But go ahead.
No comment with regards to last week. I mentioned that in the beginning of the show. With regards to this week, I told you guys in the beginning, I bet with my heart here. That's why I'm taking the Bills plus 3.5. I think this is a must. This is a must-win game for the Bills. See, I want to take the over here, but I have a feeling that we're technical difficulties.
We're back.
We're back. Okay. With the low battery on my end as well.
Get it plugged in there, sir. Get it plugged in.
Yes. We'll have to figure out how to do that swiftly. But I'll take the Bills plus 3.5 here. They have to win. If I'm going to get the loss really did me bad, folks. On Monday night, I was really looking forward to a win. It didn't happen. There's a million reasons why I am upset. I think that game was for the taking on the Bills side. If we're being quite honest, I think the Bills running backs are the most inept running backs in the history of the NFL. I would have rather seen Mike Tolbert on a stretch run play a couple of times than some of Zach Moss's cuts to the inside.
What about Booby Dixon? How about a Booby Dixon sighting?
Yes, Booby Dixon. I mean, the list just goes on. Sam Gash.
What about Gillespie?
Yes, Mike Giuseppe or Gillespie or whatever his name was. I want the Bills to bring up Antonio Williams from the practice squad. I think he would be a
Christian Wade sighting anywhere, or is he back in England?
Hey, Christian Wade's first ever touch, folks, was a 75-yard touchdown.
It wasn't
Well, his first ever NFL touch was a 75-yard touchdown run. I think he would be better than some of these running backs. You can only put so much blame on the offensive line. I get it that they're bad in the offensive line. I want them to address offense and defensive line with the first 5 rounds of this draft. They just need some maulers. But, I mean, the running back got to make a play. I mean, Singletary, yes, he's 5 yards away from hitting my preseason pick of over 500.5 rushing yards, but they do nothing. There isn't a tractor trailer wide hole. There's no running room. And there was 2 tractor trailer wide holes on the outside there for Zach Moss, and he decided to go right into the belly of the 300-pounder. So
Zach Moss, because Randy Moss is there on my. The Zach Moss got mossed on
yes, Zach Moss got mossed by a 300-pounder. Give me the Bills plus 3.5. The logic says don't pick that, but I'm just picking with my heart, folks. I'm hurt. I just want to win.
What he's telling you folks, don't go to the window with this pick.
No, folks, listen to me. Do not go to the window with this pick. This is a heart decision. This has nothing to do with the brain. So I am picking with the heart here. Plus 3.5.
Okay.
We need it.
All right. I am torn on this one. I feel like I'm going one or two directions. Going Bills plus 3.5, like my good friend there, game day, is not one of the options. There's 2 options.
I know what your 2 plays are here.
Availed to me potentially.
He's thinking between Bucks minus 3.5 and the over. So which one is he going to go with?
Oh boy. I really want to go Bucks minus 3.5, but I can't pick against the Bills 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna go.
Yes, you could.
I think the play here, if you're gonna go to the window, folks, I'm telling you, if you're gonna go to the window, take the Bucks minus 3.5. But for me, I'm gonna go with the over on this game. I'm gonna go with the over on this game.
An over, folks.
Over, yes, the first over of the week.
For every 5 unders, there's an over. All right, I like that.
They have Tampa's hit 2 overs in a row. This Bills last game you can't even count because of the weather scenario. So I like the over here. It should be probably pretty good weather there in Tampa for some offensive football. Both have pretty good defenses, but I expect a lot of throwing in this game. I don't expect a lot of running, especially from the Bills.
There
Um,
better not be more than 5 runs from the Bills.
yeah, so maybe some Josh Allen runs, but I don't see a whole lot of
Let's
runs
hope.
from
You think
running
they
back.
would use them?
Yeah,
You
so
think you would
I
use them
think this
in
game
a
will
bad
go
weather
over.
situation?
I don't think the Bills will win this game. I fully expect Tampa, especially at home where they tend to play better than they do on the road. I expect Tampa to win this game pretty easily, but I just don't want to pay against the Bills 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to go with Tampa over the 53.5. Tampa over the 53.5. Next game up here, we got 3 more for you here, folks, and then we have our best bets, and then the upset special, which we have to keep on a little muted. This league is really bothering me.
It's killing them not to say it louder, folks.
It's killing me, folks. It's killing me. You have no idea. Trust me. Believe me, it's very, very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. And there's not even a college football show for us this week, so we can't even do it in a different
right.
show.
Be on the lookout for that next week, folks. Bull special.
A caged tiger will come out with the upset special with the volume and the loudness of it. It's gonna be something to behold. Let me tell you.
Yes, not to go too much on a tangent here, but outside of the Army-Navy game, we're going to be picking every single bowl game.
Well, the Army-Navy game isn't a bowl game. We're just not picking the Army-Navy game. It's a standalone.
Oh, Army-Navy's not a bowl game?
It's not a bowl game, no.
Okay, so we are picking every bowl game.
We are picking every bowl game, folks. That will come to you next week. The first bowl games are played on 12/17. But back to the upset special. Let me tell you, your eardrums, they may never be the same after next week's upset special.
If you don't tune in for that, I don't know what there's tuning for.
That is a fair warning. You are all forewarned, and this has been foreshadowed from that standpoint. So, and that perspective. So anyway, moving right along off the upset special, we will digress from that. We will not harp on it too much longer because we'll be able to.
Let's hope not. Yes.
We'll
don't know how much longer we could possibly harp on it.
Believe me, we could harp on it much longer if we wanted to. Trust me on that. As you know. Yes. But we're moving on here. Because we know it'll be an epic upset special next week with the loudness and the volume. But moving on here for the fourth time. Yes, for the fourth time. San Francisco -1.5. San Francisco at Cincinnati. San Francisco -1.5, -110 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati +1.5, -110. Total in this game is -125 for San Francisco. Cincinnati +105 on the money line. Total points 48.5 -110 to the over and the under 48.5 -110. I do have some strong feelings on this one, Greg. So I'm going to go first here. This is my second and third game going first, and the third one is, of course, the hometown Cardinals. So I'm going to go here with the over on this game, the over the 48.5. I don't really know which side's going to win this game. I think it could go either way, frankly. Deebo Samuel apparently is going to try and get back this week. There's some doubt that he'll be able to with the groin injury, but he may be able to get back. Kyle Shanahan wants to get him back. So we'll see if the Niners' best wide receiver, I wouldn't say best receiving threat after the great game by George Kittle last week, but the best wide receiver threat the Niners have is going to try and make it back. He also does tend to do very well when they give him the ball to run the ball. As a matter of fact, I believe if Deebo Samuel was on the Bills, he would be far and away the bell cow carrier for the Bills in the running back game, even though he's a receiver.
Yes.
So, but
Kyle Juszczyk could be on the Bills and be
Kyle Juszczyk probably the leading rusher running back.
Yes.
On the Bills. Juszczyk. Yes, Juszczyk. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, with the Juszczyk. So, but I like the over in this game. I just, Cincinnati scores a lot of points. San Francisco also tends to put up a decent amount of points. San Francisco, Seattle game last week went over. Obviously, Cincinnati and the Chargers went over. These are two pretty good offenses, so I like the over in this game. So give me the over 48.
Yeah. No, I think I agree. I think that's a play. I mean, I'm torn between the Bengals +1.5 and the over here. I don't know if you guys noticed last week, Joe Burrow was clutching at his right pinky finger quite a bit. It's swelled up pretty considerably, about 3 times the size of a normal pinky finger. Yes, I did I measured it through the TV, but give me the over here. I'm not exactly sure which team's going to win. I love San Francisco's running game. I mean, I wish the Bills would just
Elijah
pick that
Mitchell
up.
is in the concussion protocol. Bear that in mind. So.
Elijah Mitchell is in the concussion protocol. Okay. Well, hopefully he gets out of that because I just love the way he runs. I mean, I am a huge Elijah Mitchell fan. He runs with so much power and downhill all the time. He seems to find the hole.
Sure.
I just wish the Bills running backs can do that. But beside the point, I'm going to go the over 48.5 here. I agree with Ben on that play.
Excellent. Next game, the Sunday night game. Not a very good Sunday night game here, folks. Chicago Bears with the Green Bay Packers. Chicago was plus 12.5, minus 110. Green Bay minus 12.5, minus 110. Money line on this game, Chicago plus 475. Green Bay minus 700. Total points in this game is 43. Minus 110 to the over and the under. Quick injury update. Justin Fields will play in this game. So Justin Fields will play in this game. No Andy Dalton. And for the Bears' sake, it's probably a good thing because it'll afford another 4 interceptions in the game. So go ahead, game day. Your last.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do a little advanced scouting. Look at the weather for next Sunday. It's supposed to be 37, clear. 5% chance of precipitation. See, if it was Andy Dalton, I wouldn't think twice and pick the Packers minus 12.5 here, but it is Justin Fields, and he is a bit better of a quarterback than Andy Dalton is. But I think I'm playing that up a little bit too much. I'm going to take the Packers minus 12.5 here. I know that's a big number to lay, but I think the Packers are that good. Aaron Rodgers is having a fantastic year. And quite frankly, the Chicago Bears, outside of that win barely winning against the Detroit Lions a couple of weeks ago, have just looked absolutely awful. So, yeah, give me the Packers minus 12.5.
Yeah, I like that. Interesting. I want to really pick the total here, but I feel like this number's spot on. Really, really good number.
Are you thinking under?
No, I was thinking over. All right, I'll take the Packers minus 12.5.
Oh! If I would have said over, you would have wanted the over.
No, I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have.
Packers minus 12.5. Okay.
Yeah, too good of a number. Give me the Packers minus 12.5. And the last game of the week here, folks.
Before we get to the last game, folks, we have a first on Line Breaker show. I am going to change one of my earlier picks.
You can do that. We do this every week.
Do I do this every week?
Almost a lot. Maybe not every week.
Okay, it's a first this week, folks. Then it's a first this week. Because I like to look a little bit deeper into things as I'm going through it. And I think I'm going to change my Falcons plus 2.5 pick to the over 42.5.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Yeah.
I don't trust the Falcons at all. And the Panthers are at home here. Gotcha. And my thinking is if Cam Newton doesn't play, they have a better chance of scoring more points. But if Cam Newton does play, I think that number is pretty spot on. And even if the Falcons, here's what I'll say. If the Falcons cover the plus 2.5, it's not going to be a 14-12 type game. I think the Falcons are going to have to score 21 at least to cover that 2.5, which if you add that up, that's going to be over 42.5. If the yeah. Anyways, just a little advanced math going on my head.
It's going over 42. Fair enough. Okay.
It's late. I'm going over 42.5 here.
Okay.
They've hit 3 out of the last 5. Going with the over, and the Panthers have hit 4 out of the last 5 on that number. Okay. So, there you go. Yeah, 8 out of the last 10 between the two teams. So yeah, give me over 42.5.
Fair enough. Excellent. Okay. The last game of the week, Monday Night Football. It's a home game here in well, not here where I currently am, but in the desert. Home game there in the desert. The truck backing out of the driveway across the weather with a bright light.
Out of your driveway?
No, out of the driveway across the street. But anyway, with the brightness, they're like boat lights or something. It's a bright, very. Oh, it's a cloud. It looks like it's a cloud. Very would be interesting. Only
Ben,
in
you can
Buffalo,
tell
folks.
Ben lives in Arizona because a snowplow gets in that route up. They don't know
True.
what that is. Those
I
Arizona
haven't seen one of those
folks,
before, so I don't know what those are. I didn't even know those.
right?
What's a snowplow? What's snow? Forget about snowplow. Anyway, moving along here, the Los Angeles. There is snow in Arizona, just not near where I live. Los Angeles Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals at Glendale at State Farm Stadium at 8:15 p.m. Monday night kickoff on December 13th, 2021, in Glendale, Arizona, the county of Maricopa County in the state of Arizona. Los Angeles Rams +2.5 -110. Arizona Cardinals -2.5 -110. Money line in this game is Rams +115. Arizona -135. Total points is 51.5 -110 to both the over and the under. And I'm
It's
going
you.
first. I'm going first because it's my hometown. I typically don't pick the Cardinals, folks, because I think the Cardinals are, I don't say they're a fraud team, but I just don't think they're as good as their record.
10-2, 10-2, fraud team.
I don't think they're as good
Best
as their
record in the league.
Yeah, I don't think their record is good. Just don't think they're that good. But with that being said, I have seen the Rams play. Talk about fraud team, and they were my Super Bowl pick, folks, here at the beginning of the year against the Bills. So there's two fraud teams for you: the Bills and the Rams. As a matter of fact, actually, the Rams losing may cost me my futures bet in a couple of Cadillacs actually. But anyway, I had to get that reference.
Smooth.
It was smooth. Not really, but it was in there.
Yes.
It was within the context and the confines of the Linebreaker Sports episode.
Right.
But I do not trust the Rams, especially against good teams and especially on the road. So I'm going to take the Cardinals here minus the 2.5 at home. I just think the better team. They have been the more consistent team, and they have played well. Well, they've actually played better on the road. Their only two losses are at home, ironically enough. They've actually played better on the road than at home, but I still like the Cardinals at home here minus the 2.5.
Cardinals minus 2.5. Okay, I'm going to go a little different here. I'm going to go over the 51.5. These are two high-powered offenses. When healthy, I think this is going to be a shootout. I love to sit back on a Sunday night and just root for points as opposed to
Monday night. Sorry, the Monday night.
Oh, Monday night. Oh, I apologize. Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. I'll probably be on the road actually, so I'll just be sitting back in the hotel, and rooting for points. So I certainly don't mind that. These are two high-powered offenses. If you look at that total, I mean that sounds pretty spot on. I don't know if it'll shift up or down as we get closer to game time, but yeah, I'm just going to root for points. Give me over 51.5. I think that line is pretty spot on.
All right, so now we're moving right along to best bets. I believe I went first last week with best bets, Greg. So if you want to go first this week for your first best bet.
Sure. My first best bet is going to be the Chargers minus 10 against the Giants.
All right. Okay, my first best bet is going to be the San Francisco. No, I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go Tampa Bay Buffalo over 53.5.
Tampa versus Buffalo over 53.5. Sorry, I have to write this a little neat because we're going to get this up on the Line Breakers Twitter tonight. That'll be posted for you guys, so you have early access look into our picks. And if you haven't been following along, follow our daily picks as well. We certainly have fun doing that. But anyways, getting back on track, my second best bet for this week 14 is going to be I'm going to go over 48.5 in the 49ers Bengals game. Is my second best bet.
Over 48. Okay. I'm going to go with Kansas City over the Raiders minus 9.5.
Okay. You said Chiefs minus 9.5?
Yeah.
Okay. My last best bet is going to be, that sounds enticing. I'm going to go Seahawks Texans under 41.5. So 2 totals, folks, for best bets. I think that's a first for me. So yeah, give me Seahawks Texans under 41.5.
Okay. Oh gosh, I got 2 I like. All right, I'm gonna go with Cleveland, Baltimore under 42.5.
Oh, okay. What was the other one you were debating between?
Arizona minus 2.5.
Okay. Under 42.5. All right.
And
So
then-
just to recap real quick, taking over Benny. I'll give Benny a little break from recapping here.
Yep.
For the best bets, game day, Greg has Chargers minus 10, 49ers versus Bengals over the 48.5, and the Seahawks versus Texans under 41.5. And Benny Buckets has Bucks versus Bills over 53.5, the Chiefs minus 9.5 against the Raiders, and the Ravens versus Browns under 42.5.
Correct. Yes. Exactly.
And now we are moving on to the upset special. Who picked first?
The upset special.
Yes. Who picked first last week?
I believe I did. No, you
Okay.
did. You did. You took the. You did. You took the Chargers first. So yeah.
Yep. You took Washington football team.
I'll go first this week. The upset special. You can't yell it. Unfortunately, it's very, very demoralizing. It's messing with my.
Oh, you know what?
emotions.
I think I know why I went first last week. It's because I won. So
Well,
do I get?
But we
so do
both
I get
won
to
the
keep-
upset special this week.
But
so
do I get to keep going first?
Well,
Because
we both won though. So
here's what we'll do, folks. We're gonna do a rock paper scissors shoot live here. Best of one.
no, best of three. Best of three. It's gotta be best of three.
Yes, let's make the show a little longer. Best of three. Yes.
With the Rochambeau. All right.
Yes.
Ready?
All right. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shoot. Okay.
Okay.
Put this out. Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Rock,
paper,
paper, scissors.
Wait. False start.
Folks, this is nuts.
Ready? Ready?
Yep.
Rock,
paper,
wait,
scissors.
you turn it up again. Hold it. Jeez. All right, ready?
With the delay, yes.
Delay, yeah.
All right, ready?
Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, yes, I won.
Right,
I won
you
that.
won one. All right, so you're up 1-0. Okay, fine.
Yes.
All right. Rock, paper,
scissors, shoot.
Oh man! All right, fine. You go first.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
I think you were cheating, but that's okay.
I was debating it
I think
first.
you were spy-gating. I think you were Belichicking it, but that's okay.
Okay, let's do it a little differently.
No, it's all right. It's fine. You win. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, yes.
I'll defer. Go ahead.
You'll defer. Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
I knew you were going there. Yeah, I knew you were going there.
That's why I wanted to pick first.
That's not where I was going. I didn't pick them in my pick. So why would I go there? I'm not going there. But okay.
Well, you didn't pick them with your pick. You could still pick them if you didn't pick them with your pick.
I could, but I wasn't going to go there anyway. So.
Okay.
All right. So he's going with the Ravens. Ravens, who are plus 2.5 point favorite. All right. I am going to go with for my upset bet. I upset special. Bothering me so much right
It's
here.
like taming a wild dog, folks. It's
tearing me in my core, man. Tearing me in my core.
He's not going to sleep tonight.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go Pittsburgh plus the 3. Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Wow. Well, Thursday night action. I like it.
Thursday night. Well, Thursday night. We'll know tomorrow if I win my upset special or not. So. Pittsburgh, not plus 3. Pittsburgh to win outright, but they're a 3-point underdog. So there
All
we
right.
go, folks.
Awesome. That's gonna do it for this for this show, folks. This show has been entertaining.
Technologically interesting. So yeah.
Yes, we seem to have covered all the tangents here at Linebreaker Sports. We do every week, but no, we have a fantastic time doing this, folks. We're doing it from remote locations. We're dedicated to the show. We're dedicated to you folks. Getting the picks out. We're both over 500 in the NFL, which is fantastic throughout the course of
one of
14.
us is over 500 in college. So.
Yes,
one of us is over 500 in our college and NFL combined. So.
Yes, we'll take that all day.
But Greg is higher, is beating me in the NFL. So props.
Yes, and I'm depending what happens in bowl week here. I could somehow miraculously get to 500 in college football.
It would take a miracle. You'd have to go about 30-10, folks, in the bowl. But
I would need 13 games above 500 to break
13 games above 13
to hit. But beside the point, folks, we love doing this for you guys. We're very passionate about it, as you can see. We're playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets the upset special first.
Yeah. Even though he thought he was going to steal his upset special pick.
Folks, I have a 4-1 record going here on the upset special, so I have a lot to live up to. But yeah, no, I think that's going to do it this week. Not much more will be said. Be on the lookout for this show, either most likely tomorrow afternoon. I'll get this up, and then you'll see our picks as well. I'll tweet those out tonight. And also a recap of our daily picks. So a lot to look forward to, folks. And then we're going to also have a little tease, a little something that we're working on. It's in the works, possibly another platform to follow us on. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm Game Day Greg. I'm just saying who I am. But Benny Buckets, do you have anything else before we sign off?
No, that's it, folks. It's been a pleasure as always. And next time we see you, we'll be in warmer climate here, much more with the palatable weather, with the lack of the snow. We'll be leaving the snow of Buffalo behind.
Yes, headlights. No headlights in the.
Yes, no. There will be no snow plows coming from my locale next time when you're viewing this. So
perfect. All right, I'm Game Day Greg alongside Benny Buckets.
Yes. See you,
folks.
Good night. Good night, folks.